So in today's class, we are going to check how to insert the remaining nodes. So in the previous class, we saw that how a linked list can be worked. The linked how to work on a linked list. First, we are going to use a linker section, and here we have created a class. Here class inside a private, we have created a linked list of name start. The linked list of name start. So structure name is start. So here we have two parts. One is data part and other one is node is a link of a next location. Here we are going to deal with singly linked list. Okay. Next we have defined a constructor. Have defined a constructor. Constructor. Here we have defined a constructor. Okay. So next what we did here we have defined a constructor. Constructor, this is the default constructor, or we have just declared the constructor. Definition is defined outside the class. Okay. The next we have print to print number of linked list present in our list. Number of nodes present in our linked list. Append is to append one to add one node to the list and count. Now how many numbers of list is been present. Void print means it is used to print a nodes in a list. Next, append is to add a node to a list, and count is to find number of nodes present in the list. Next, we have declared a class constructor. So constructor here outside the class definition constructor. So what does this say here is, this says that whenever you are going to start your node, the linked list, your start will always point to null. Okay. The next is void linked list scope resolution operator print is a member function. So here what we did here, or we have no, if the start double equals to null, then it says that, then we can say that this is a empty list. So if you have an empty list, what you're going to do, you're going to say empty list, and you're going to return. Then what you're going to do, you're going to see how many lists are there, or if the list is not empty, then what you should do. So how many the list contains, how many numbers of list is there. Next, how many numbers of list is there. Okay. So here count see out linked list contains means how many numbers of list we have in a linked list. We are going to see that by using a see out. Here node star temp is equals to start. What we are going to do here is, here we are going to create a temporary variable, and we are going to store the point structure to that temp. Clear? Then if the temp or that structure doesn't contain any elements, means what you are going to do, count the data which if not equals to null means it, if it is not equals to null means the temp has some values in there. Now ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ a temple values now type see out print ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು we are going to insert the data. Okay. Temp which is equals to data. Okay. So next, temp is equals to link of that data. So we are going to link the data also out there. Next, so this is how we are going to print a list in a given linked list. So next is void linked list append. So what does this append do now? So append will add a data, add a linked list. Append will, what append does here is, append okay. So append will add one more list to the data. Here if I say append, wait a second. So the append will add a list to a data or add a nodes to a data. So how it will add means it is going to create node is equal node star new node. So node means which is a node. Here we have a structure. Here we have a structure. For this, we are going to create a new node. For this, we are going to create a new node. For this, we are going to create a new node over here. Node star new node means the new name of the structure. New node is equals to new of node. Here we are going to specify the we are going to specify here dynamic allocation. Dynamic allocation. Okay. Next, here for this diagram, we are going to separate, we are going to add a new node. Wait a second, I'm going to show you. Wait a second, I'm going to show you in the pictures itself. Okay. So here we have two parts. Wait a second, I'll show you. So this is a linked list. The first we have already have a value called as 200. Okay. So this, what does it do? This holds the address of the next location, which means that which means that it has one more. We are going now what we are going to do in append means we are going to add one more data to our list. We are going to add one more data to one more node to our list. We are going to add one more node to our list. Okay, one more data to our list and we are going to join them. One more data to our list and we are going to join them. This is this work we are going to do now. This work we are going to do now. So which means that here the list, here whatever the list is there, the list we have, we are going to hold the address of, we are going to hold the address of next location. We are going to hold the address of next location like this. Clear? So in the append, what we are going to add a list, add a new node to the list. Okay. So the next, first we have already yesterday we have seen how to add single node. Now we are going to add multiple nodes to the list. Okay. So like this. Okay. Next, here we new node is equal to data, which is equal to num. Whatever data you are going to put, and first, whenever we are going to start our data, okay, at the time this part we are going to represent as null. This part we are going to represent as null. Clear? This part we are going to represent as null. Before we are going to start our linked list, what we are going to do here is first part we always say it is null. Okay, this is the first work. So what does it do? It is going to create a new node. New node is equals new of node means it is going to say that the node which you are going to create is in a dynamic structure. Node you are going to create which it will be in dynamic allocation. So the only a compiler knows how many times it is going to run. until it exists. Okay. Next, what we are going to do, we are going to add a data to the list. We're going to add a data to the list. We're going to add a data to the list. So like this. So we are going to add a data and we are going to say the link is null at the first time. So if the start is not double equals to null, then what you are going to say? Then you are going to say, you're going to write in our print in your console screen that the 200 is inserted as the first node. What you're going to say? You're going to say that 200 is been inserted as your first node. Okay. The next, else, if you have a node, what you're going to do? Else, if you have a node, what you're going to do? Now, if you have a node, you're going to say a node is equal to temp. The temp star is equal to start. What you're going to do? You're going to start a node while temp not equals to null. While a temp is a given thing, it refers to the link. Temp refers to a link which is not equal to null. If it is not null, then what you should do? A temp is equals to link and link is equal to new node. So what it is going to do here is it is going to create a node. It is going to create a node. Okay. It's going to create a node and here it is going to say that it doesn't have a link null. It is going to have a link. It is going to have a link. This part has a link to the next node. This part has a link to the next node. Okay. The next is temp. Here, what you're going to say here is here temp is equals to temp is equal to temp of link and temp link is equal to new node. So which number you are going to enter now? Now you are going to create a node as 300. So 300 will be inserted and this part will be always equal to null. Okay. The next again. So next here one more node is inserted. So how many numbers of nodes you're going to give, that many numbers of nodes you're going to insert over here. This code works to if you have a node in a list, then what you should do. So if you have a node in a list, what you should do here is node is equal to star temp star temp, which we are going to create a pointer which is equals to start, the name of the structure. Next, while the temp of link is not equal to null, if the temp of link is not equal to null, then what you should do? So then temp is equals to temp of link. So it is going to link the next part and link is equals to new node. So link is equals to new node and new node will be inserted. This is how we are going to append a nodes. The next is how to count a node. Okay. So to count means how many numbers of nodes are present in your list. So now we have two nodes. Two number of nodes. Two number of nodes. So how do you are going to see that? So you are going to say node is equal to star temp. So I'm going to give a node name to the node. Okay. See, we are going to create a variable called a C, which we are going to initialize to 0. Next, temp means what is the temp? A temp is the pointer. Pointer is equal to start, means first point. Pointer to start means your pointing variable will be always will be equals to this. Your pointing variable will always be here. Okay. The pointing variable will always be here. So not equals to null. If pointing variable is not equals to null and temp is equals to temp of link, temp is equals to temp of link, how many links are there? If the link is equals, then link plus plus. So it is going to count. So say for the example, here your temp is equal start means temp will be here. Your start means which is equal temp is equals to 0. Here if I say temp is equal to start, then what I can say here is temp is equals to 0. Okay. So temp not equals to null means here your temp is not equals to null here. So there is we have one link, right? So temp means we have one not equals to null means 0. One not equals 0, it is true. One not equals 0. One not equals 0, it will be true. Then what does that what previously count was 0, now count increments. Then C is equals to C plus 1 means previously C is equals to C was 0 plus 1 which is equals to 1, which is equals to 1. Then it will say that the number of node, then it will say of node number of node in the linked list is 1, is 1. Linked list is equals to 1. This is how we are going to counter node. So now your temp, your star, your temp, it says here, it will move regularly and it comes till until it is equals to null. So how many nodes are there? So 1 and 2. So next it says that your count increments, count previously was 0, now becomes 1. Now 1 plus 1 which is equals to, then number of list in your count will be 2. So this pointer will move next. So until when it is going to move? Until it temp reaches to null. Until the temp reaches null. Until the temp reaches null. Here your temp will not reach null because it has a address. Because it has a, if your temp is here, then it has address. When temp moves over here, then it means that it is equals to null. So then it is going to say that you have a linked list of two variable, two nodes. Next, we have now a main function starts. So what does the main function do here? So main function creates list pointers or pointers object. So list star object is equals to new linked list. So whenever you are going to say a new always declares for a dynamic location. Dynamic location. So it is going to clear a screen. Next, of obj, which refers to print. So first, when it says obj is equal to print, when your compiler lines comes here, it is going to run this part, which is going to run this part. It is going to run this part. So first, always it says the list is empty. First, what does it do? It will say that first in your compiler, a line, it will go to here and in a console screen, console screen, it says that list is empty. It says that list is empty. The next list is empty. After that, it is going to say after that here append object obj append obj append 100, obj append 100, which means that it is going to create a linked list. It is going to create a linked list. First, it is going to create a linked list as 100, and this part it is going to say it is null. This part is going to say it is null. Means it is going to work. Your compiler line moves to the print, moves to the append, and it is going to append a new node. It is going to append a new node here. Okay, we're going to append a new node here. First, always it is going to create a node. Okay, first when it's going to append, it's going to create a node and it is going to keep over here. Like now, if one more node is there. It is going to create one more node like this. Okay, it's going to create a one more node like this. So here the first, when you have remove, don't take here. First, what does it do? Append means you want to put, and it is going to create a list. And if start double equals to null means if your pointer, the line of pointer, if the line of pointer is here, the line of pointer is here, then in your compiler or in your console script is going to print as a num 100 is inserted as the first node. 100 is inserted as a first node. Next, what does it happens? Next, again, it moves to the main function. It is going to print the value. It is going to print the value. Next, count. How many number of nodes are there? Now, if we have one node, it is going to say that you're going to say number of nodes in a linked list is one. Okay. And remember one thing, whenever we are going to do like this, or whenever we are going to provide a value directly to a compiler, then this definition is called as compile time. This definition is called as these definitions is called as compile time. Compile time, or runtime compile time data. So this is where whenever we give a data for a compiler for the working, okay, this is a compile time data. So 100 will be inserted. Again, it is going to append 200. When append 200, okay, now what happens here is now you doesn't have a null value. Now you doesn't have a null value. Why? Because it is going to have one node in your data. Now the start will not point to null. It is pointing to here. The start is always pointing to the next node. Okay, the start will always point to the next node. Then it says else if the null start is one or one double equals null means 0. One double equals 0. If it says 1 double equals to 0 means it is false. What does it do now? So it is going to say temp of start. You want to put a value to the temp of start and and what here, and here this will be linked, and this node will be linked like this. So this node will be linked like this. Clear? So this is how a linked list works. Again the same way, it is going to print, it is going to count like 300, it is going to print, it is going to count. Okay, how many number of nodes are there? Now it says 100, 100 is inserted as the first node. Again, it is going to come down. It is going to say 200 is inserted. As the first node, it will be removed. 200 will be inserted. Here you see in a print. So if a link start is, if the link, so here, if it has a first node, it says that it has the first node, or else it is going to say the number of list, or here it is going to say the list is inserted. List is inserted. Okay. Next, it is going to count. The list will be 2. Okay. The list will be 2. Same way it is going to do until we have how many numbers of nodes we have given. Till then we are going to run the program. This is the linked list program. Now what we are going to do over here is, now we are going to run a program. Now we are going to run our linked list program. So now what you should do here is you should see how to run this program. Okay. Now you should see how to run this program. So make sure here whatever we are going to give, this will be already give you are going to give a input and both output also it is going you are not going to give in the input in a runtime. What we were doing for our previous programs for queues, stacks or different things. Okay, here whatever you are going to do, it will be done by yourself. So this is what we say compile time running. So see here I have not given anywhere, but I have inserted my data directly over here itself. Here, if I give some items or something, here if I give some items or something, it is going to take a value. But here, what happens here is I have not given anything. I have not given anything. So, but I have given a data directly. So now you just see how it is going to run. Okay, control F9. So you can see over here. So 100 is the first node inserted. So what happens? 100 list contains 100 and number of nodes is 1. 200 is inserted. The list contains 100 and 200. So which means that the first node, the previous node has a link of next node. Next 100, 200, 300. Again 400 is inserted. 100, 200, 300 and 400. Again 500 is been inserted. 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. Okay. So this is how we are going to work for a program. This is how we are going to work for a program. So check out again. Once again, I'm going to show you. Check out once again. I'm going to show you. Function F9. Control F9. Okay. See here. So first what happens here 100 is there. The 100 first the 100 will be inserted. First you will get a list is empty. Wait a second. I'll show you. Okay. So now okay. Now control F9. So you can see what does the first print statement say? The first print statement over here. First it will check. Okay, I'm going to show you it. The first whenever it is going to go to the link, it is going to say it is going to check for this statement. First, what does it do? It is going to print as a list is empty. The list is empty. Okay. Next, I'm going to insert 100. Next here you can see here. Next you can see over here. I'm going to insert the list as 100. So first node is been inserted. So the first node will be in 100 is inserted as a first node. The list contains 100. Number of nodes is 1. So 200 is inserted as a inserted link list contains 100 and 200. 300 is inserted and link 100 200. 300 means 100 has a link of 200. So 200 has a link of 300 like 100 200 300 400. So list contains 4. Now if I need to add one more list, if I need to add one more list, what I'm going to do? I'm going to append first. I'm going to append means I'm going to create a linked list. Then I'm going to print that list in a link and I'm going to count the data. Okay. Now, in the same way, if I need to add one more thing, what I should do? You should do just obj, check out properly. I'm going to say this again and again. Append of 600. Okay. Append of 600. Next, obj print and obj count. Okay. Now if I run, what happens? So now if I run, what happens? One error is there. So sorry, this was my function error. Success, control F9. So what happened? The list entered. List 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600. So list got extra list is been entered. So what you should do in your exam? You should just give a input. You should give a input in here, not in a runtime entity. This is how you are going to work on a linked list program. This is how you are going to work on a linked list program. So did you understand how we are going to work on linked list program?